Hi guys, welcome to Northwest Connection. In this episode we chat with Underdark, born from the bleak beauty of Nottingham and forged in the fires of post-black metal. Underdark blend fury with feeling, politics with poetry and distortion with defiance. Let's get into it. Thanks for coming on. Would you like to...
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
I must confess this is the second time we've had Underdark on, because the first time it didn't quite work, but we're glad to be back.
Yeah, as we were saying, it's a joy to be able to have a second conversation with you both. So thanks for having us.
You've had a warm up. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm Abby. I'm the vocalist in Underdark, and Neil.
And I'm Neil, and I play bass in Underdark.
Communication is as ever impeccable.
So usually a five-piece. Who are we missing today?
We're missing Ollie and Adam, our guitarist, and Dan, our drummer.
Okay. And how did the band come together? And how long have you been together?
Oh, man. It's a long and convoluted story. The band's been together for, I think, is it just over or just under a decade now? But it was initially formed. Ollie and Adam are the only original members of Underdark. The first lineup change was when I joined, and after that, previous drummer left, and then Dan joined. Previous drummer was also called Dan. It was really important to us to not have to update the names on the Bandcamp page, and so. And then the most recent lineup change was about a year ago or just over a year ago now, when Neil joined. So in this current incarnation, we've been together a year, but the band's been going for fucking ages at this point.
So as part of the lineup changes, has there been any sort of stylistic shift for Underdark?
That's such a good question. I'm loving these questions. I get to sit and sit, listen, and get all the inside lore from this side.
Stylistically, I think we just got more technical. I think every change of lineup, except my own, I can't really speak to what it was like beforehand. We've basically swapped in a member that's like a much more involved and technical player than previously, and so we've been able to add a lot more complexity to the sound that we probably wouldn't have been able to before.
And you're based in Nottingham, is that right?
Yeah.
And how is this been in Nottingham for black metal?
Mostly three in Nottingham, and then I'm down in London, and Dan's in Cambridge. So we've got a little bit of a commute across. So I think we can say we're from sort of like the east.
Yeah.
And what are your musical backgrounds for both of you?
I grew up playing. It's first bands that I ever played in was just like 3-chord punk bands. My ambitions were never anything more than to play with no guitar pedals at all. Like, I didn't have a tuner for years. That was selling out if I had a tuner. So it was kind of like punk bands for years and years and years. And then kind of like gradually progressing into more technical bits. So the band that one of the other bands, which is how I originally met the Underdark folks. That's a kind of like convergy style hardcore metal band, and that was really kind of introduction to playing, like seeing music as a craft. So it kind of went from punk through pop punk through metal, and to where we're at today.
Well, how did you find the time to a band full-time job as well?
Do you know what? I don't know, mate. I don't know. I feel like I am constantly on the M1 or on the M4, because every band, I'm in 2 bands in Bristol and 1 band in Nottingham. So it's like I haven't even got a band in my city that I live in. So I don't actually know. Google Calendars, I think, is probably the best way that I could say that, just so I know where I have to be. Google Calendars are not thinking any more than one day ahead.
Fair play. because I don't think I could do it.
How about you, Abby? How did you
I've been all over the map musically, really. The first thing that I ever wrote and released was a sort of music concrete solo project with it was very inspired by like Brian Eno and also Drone. And what I'd do is I'd go out and like record shit. Like I'd be at the train station, I'd just like get the recording app on my phone, record like 20 minutes of me waiting for a train, and then I'd take that home, fuck with it in Audacity, if anyone remembers that program, and then play guitar over it. And that was like my first band. And then I thought 20-minute songs of like ambient fucking space noises and guitar was a bit wanky, so I joined a grind band. And then Underdark, sort of a happy medium between the two. So I've been all over the place musically, but it's always been some kind of extreme.
So how would you describe Underdark sound to somebody who's not heard you before?
We were having a conversation about this the other day, and about where it kind of sits, and it's interesting, but I can't remember whether it was this Arctangent or last Arctangent, but we were speaking about saying I think to us, certainly the conversation that Abby and I have about this, Underdark is incredibly melodic. And I've always thought that before I was in the band, and even more so now. To me, every song is defined by, there is melody in every single part. So I think of it as a really melodic band, and then sometimes it's just like, we'll watch videos back, or you listen to things back and think, oh, actually, it's not. It is not that it's not melodic, but there is an extremity there. I think I'll start off with, I would say, melodic black metal. But Abby, go on, you. Yes, and me on that.
I tend to just tell people, imagine if Joy Division had rabies.
Well, that's an interesting way. I'm yet to see you dance like Ian Curtis when you play live, Abby, so I think that's something you can have.
I'm working on it. I'm doing my yoga, trying to get my contortionism up.
So, who would you say as a musician has inspired you the most?
That's a good question.
I think that's a really good question. Certainly in Underdark, my biggest inspiration is it's normally like lyricists I take inspiration from rather than vocalists, because I don't really listen to music and go, yeah, that's how I want my voice to sound, because I'm pretty happy with how I sound already. But I draw a lot of inspiration from like J.R. Hayes of Pig Destroyer. I think he's a fantastic lyricist, and I like a lot of rappers as well, like Sage Francis or Kendrick Lamar, POS, like really sort of technical wordsmiths and stuff. I find that really inspiring.
How about you, Neil?
Yeah, for me, I would say my how I play music changed fundamentally from when I first heard "This Will Destroy You," because before that I just understood guitars as something that would sound like a guitar, and I remember listening to that band for the first time and then being amazed at the fact that I had no idea that was a band that was just made up of two guitarists, a bassist, and a drummer, and I really, really clearly remember that, of thinking, okay, so the instrument, how can we make instruments do something more than just playing an identifiable note in something, and actually like building into a journey. And that was another, that was a band that kind of that set me on more of the post-rock journey of the narrative of songs, and just seeing music as something different rather than just 3-minute punk or metal songs. So I would say for me, it's almost that feeling of discovering that band for the first time, and making that realization that this was still made with the sort of instruments that I've just got sitting around at home, but how can I make it do that cool thing? And that's kind of been the rabbit hole that I fell down a decade So go.
Did you find with that rabbit hole that you were going into more gear with that, so you more pedals, more instead of just a tuner and the amp as you was doing in your punk days?
Yeah, that was where it all started from. That was where it all began. The first delay pedal, suddenly again, I had no idea what these things were. Literally, I didn't know what these things were. And before you'd listen to songs that are like, famously written around that stuff. Just had no idea really.
We live
I've been
in
playing music for a long time at that point.
we live in constant terror of being called sellouts by our 14-year-old selves.
It's a worry we all have, really, I think, isn't it? So, obviously, there's a lot of layers and textures to the guitars and the bass. So, who's the biggest gear nerd in the band?
That's a great question.
They all are. They're fucking terrible.
We are a band of enablers. This is the biggest problem with Underdark, is that we are all excited by the next thing that's coming along and something that could go on the board or something that could be added to or something that could be. It's a really. Especially with writing especially with writing newer stuff. This is my own experience of writing newer stuff, but especially with writing newer stuff, it's kind of thinking about, how do you get we've got images in our minds of what we want something to sound like, and now we've been playing long enough and working out, understand gear just about well enough to think, right, well, how do we get closer to that thing, and how do we elicit that kind of emotion by bringing in something else. So yeah, between the three of us in terms of guitar stuff, we're awful at enabling each other in terms of bringing new gear on board, which hasn't been helped by guitar changes for the new stuff. So it's now 7 strings and 5 strings. So it's like the next record is basically reorganized pedal boards, new amps, new guitars. It's a lot. We're rolling into every show with a lot of gear at the moment.
With that in mind, gear companies, if you want to give us out free, we'll wear the t-shirt, we'll wear the hat. I don't give a shit. Just give us free stuff.
Let's do. We'll go for the same thing. Yeah. So is there no competition between the three as for who gets to use what, who gets which pedal, or is it all fairly democratic and supportive?
It feels like, when you're really young and you're coming and you're discovering new bands, and you're just like really excited that person's discovered that particular thing, and that's going to be perfect. That's going to be perfect. Yeah. It's like that's what it feels like every time we talk about, like, oh, we've got this new thing. Adam's bought a new guitar recently. Like the way he was describing it was like, that's going to be perfect for you and for all of these things. It's really, that's what's really exciting about it, is that like it's another aspect just outside of playing together and writing together and being together and hanging out. It's like it's another thing that's just kind of the number of times we've set up our own kind of like splinter WhatsApp group, because the number of things that we just send each other on eBay have been like, do you remember this like obscure guitar brand from 2001 that you used to read about in guitar magazines? It's only 700 quid, and it is just so yeah. So it feels really it feels really collaborative of a way of we've each got kind of and constantly learning about like the kind of space that everyone occupies and how these things will all fit together. You can kind of you've got to see how it all fits together. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. One of my.
It sounds fun, but costly and dangerous as well at the same time.
Oh, dangerous, Chris. Dangerous is exactly the word. It's as I say, it's a band of enablers. And every other band I'm in, luckily, I come in and I might have something new on my board, and they're like, "Oh, fucking come on, you got something else. You didn't need that. It sounded fine." Whereas that's not the case here. So there is no limit, which is very unfortunate. It means that a lot of things have got to be sold for new things to come in.
The real danger comes when we're playing in a room with a smallish stage, and we then have to fit 3 massive fucking pedal boards on there, and then try to fucking move around during the set.
I was going to say that as well. Where's the room for the front person in this band at the moment, or are you usually left on the?
They just kick me into the audience most of the time.
To be fair, Abby, I've seen you a couple of times, and you do end up in the crowd anyway. So
Yeah, it's you know, old habits die hard. I came from playing fucking hardcore gigs in pracky rooms, and that's probably where I'm gonna go before I give up on music forever. You know, um, it's yeah, it's good. I like doing that. It seems to get a good reaction from people as well, which is cool. I sort of hope when I do it to sort of eliminate the fucking barrier and mysticism of like being a band person. Like, I'm a fucking idiot with a microphone. You can do this as well, you know?
So we were talking about the writing process, songwriting process a little bit ago. So how do you write, given the fact that, you know, there is quite a bit of distance between the band members? Is it a collaborative effort, or do you have one person who takes the lead?
Very
Do
collaborative.
you want to talk about managed declining beforehand?
Sure, yeah. I can't really speak too much before Managed Decline because our first album was already like recorded by the time I joined the band, and I had to like write lyrics to already like finished mixes, and then it was a little bit rushed. That's you can tell that when you look at the lyric sheets, but yeah, for Managed Decline, it was a very like guitar led album. Like Ollie and Adam wrote pretty much all of that with Dan and me and Stig, who was then our bass player, just sort of added our parts afterwards. Whereas now we're using Dropbox a lot. I think the distance between us has motivated us to be a lot more connected, actually. Like, you know, when like if you're in a fucking long distance relationship or whatever, you start thinking, okay, I need to, maximize the time we spend together and make up for the distance, right? And I think being in a band is a lot like that. Like we'll put effort into like, okay, so we we get to practice together in a room maybe like once, twice a month. And so we'll if someone writes a cool riff, they'll put that in the band Dropbox immediately. And so, anyone who picks that up can expand on it and work around it. I'm personally still generally wait for finished tracks to start writing lyrics, but that's just how I prefer to write them.
And where do you get your inspiration from for your lyrics and your melodies?
Oh, man. A lot of places. It's mostly quite political in nature. Managed Decline, the title itself was a Thatcher quote, if you believe, because as she once said that the city of Liverpool should be left to manage decline, which one of many, many reasons why she is looking up at us now today. But yeah, that one was inspired a lot by the sort of grotty post-industrial Midlands environments that a lot of us in the band came from. And so I kind of went on a bit of an interview tour with people my great uncle knew, who was a miner around the time the mines were being closed down. And so I'd go around asking around people in my area, and what I did was I sort of constructed a narrative for the concept album out of the stories they told me, which got pretty dark actually, but fuck it, it's a metal album, for this one, it's been a lot less like boots on the ground collecting stories. It's a lot more like big in terms of scope. There's a lot of there's no sort of linking narrative, but it's a lot more modern, and quite a lot of it is sort of my gag reflex kicking in at the sight of some of the shit we are currently forced to endure. Like there's a song about surveillance. There's a song about song about the comparing like the current sort of state of misinformation and paranoia that's being whipped up to to the Cold War, actually, which is sort of the most recent historical parallel I can find. And so like I take a lot of inspiration from those sorts of things. I guess it's
all the same shit, different decade, really, isn't it? When you think about it, because you look at the 80s as what I mean. I was a kid in the 80s, so I do have some recollection of the strikes, the minor strikes, the docker strikes as well in the 90s in Liverpool, and Thatcher isn't very well liked in this area where we live. So, but
right on.
I can see similarities as well with what you've got going on in America, what we've got going on with reform as well in the UK. So it sounds like the darkness is always going to be there in the lyrics, where you're finding the inspiration.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's one bright side. We might all be in camps in a few years, but at least I'll never run out of things to write about.
There's got to be a silver lining on that cloud.
in it.
So when you go into the studio to record, are the songs finished, or do you experiment a bit more once you get in there with sounds?
I like to have them as finished as possible. I like to have at least performed. I like to have performed at least. I like to have performed them all live at least once before going to record them. But there's always something, like Joe, who recorded the at No Studio, by the way, who recorded Managed Decline, and we're going to work with on this new album. He's a fucking genius, and so he's always got some sort of really good suggestion, like is it? Yeah, it's Enterprise. The bit at the end where I'm yelling at like the opposite end of the room to the mic is how we got the vocals to sound like that. And the original for that was me sort of like singing instead, which was it's not good. It's not good. I think we've got like a demo of that floating around somewhere, but I hope it never sees the light of day.
So was it Joe's idea to add the brass sections to Managed Decline, to add that sort of northern coal mine and town?
Oh no, that was us. That was our old bassist, actually, specifically Stig. He wanted to have like a colliery band do a bit.
Because that was the first thing I thought when I heard that. It just felt very northern and minor towns, like Yorkshire, the East Midlands. It did certainly do the right, what you wanted it to do. It was great.
Yeah, right on, man. That's. Go.
So I was going to ask, do you guys have specific roles beyond the instruments within the band, or is it left to one person?
We do, actually. Being in a band is the most fun bit of being in a band. So we sort of parcel up everything else between us. Like Neil has been doing social media lately. So if you talk to us on Instagram or wherever else we're active, you're talking to Neil. Ollie does a lot of the logistics stuff. Like if we're touring, he'll be the one who rents a van and organizes us all like getting there when he's going to pick us up and everything. Adam deals with our label. He's the one who talks to Justine and Sammy. Dan mails out merch. He's our mega store. And that just leaves me. I skive everything. No, it's my job to sort of do interviews and press and stuff, which Neil is helping with because he is a delight, and I get very shy.
So, What's your favourite memory from a live performance so far?
Ooh, there's so many.
My second gig with Underdark was Arctangent last year, and that was a baptism of fire. And I'd only been asked to fill in. It was like a month before or so, maybe 5 weeks or so. And we'd played at Boom, RIP Boom, but we played at Boom like a week or so before. So Arctangent was the first performance, and that for a number of reasons. I think because obviously it's Arctangent, but also being able to share something like that together, like it's a really intimate thing to perform with people and to create with people, but to perform with people, especially to do something like that, it's a very intimate thing. So I think that still is one that kind of like immediately jumps to mind.
I think for me was it was probably the Leicester leg of the Burner run, because I grew up in Leicester, and so it was really nice to have like a hometown gig with a big turnout. Like it was rammed. There were a bunch of my friends there, and they were dancing. Oh man, there was moshes. There were people like actually just fucking throwing shapes. It was fucking great. After years of playing like gigs in Leicester to not many people, or to headline at the Big Difference as well, which used to be called the Cookie Jar, and that was the venue in Leicester that you really wanted to play. To headline there and to have it go down a storm and to have like lots of people there and my friends there to witness it, that was really fucking special.
Awesome.
So how do you prepare for a live show?
Vocal warm-ups in my case. I do a lot of them. Gotta be done, like when I was in Yuri, my old grind band, that was fine because, the set's 10 minutes, so it doesn't really matter if you blow your voice out. But I absolutely have to take care of my shit now. So a lot of
Always say to Abby, when that starts, that's when I know it's kind of you're out of normal mode and I'm into like lock-in mode. Yeah. When I hear the vocal warm-up starts, I'm like, cool, we're locked. This is it. We're getting ready to go. Okay, let's focus. But yeah, I think also just more and more just like being together, being together in the kind of like the hour, half an hour lead up, and just being in the same space as each other. And that's something that it's increasingly, it feels like it's a very calming thing. And then making sure we get our incense lit before we get on stage, which at the last Arctangent we were doing that like as the intro music was just finishing up. I was still there like, okay, it's gonna be great, it's gonna really make us feel good on stage. And the stage manager's like, dude, we gotta get up on there.
And that fella wanted to take our photo like right before we went on as well. We were like rushing onto the stage at Arctangent. It was I just kind of let it sit. I try not to talk too much if we're playing again the next day. Other than that, I just rest it. It generally rehabs pretty well if I warm up properly. So
warm up is key.
Yeah, for real. That's my number one tip. If you want to be a metal vocalist, don't skip warm ups. Like they will save your voice. You'll be able to do all sorts of fucked up shit with your vocal cords that you didn't even think was possible, and it'll be great.
So, what's the weirdest venue you've ever played? And did it change how you played?
Oh, which, sorry? What's the what, sorry?
What's the weirdest venue you've ever played, and did it change how you performed?
Sorry, I kind of have to ask you to repeat yourself again. What's the what-ist venue?
The weirdest. The weirdest.
Weirdest.
Venue.
Okay. Oh, there haven't been that many weird ones for me. I think Satan's Hollow is probably the weirdest I've played Access in the round. That was great. I want to play more gigs in a big fucking circle. But that was good because it's ringed by all this like this fencing, I guess, and it was very cool to climb on that and just sort of walk across that as we were playing. That would be great. I'd love to do that again. Promoters in Manchester, bookers for Satan's Hollow, not Atma. I don't want to load in up 3 flights of stairs on a fucking fire escape. Nah, that Atma's a good venue as well. I know we don't discriminate here.
I was going to say, sure, there's a few flights of stairs though with Satan's Hollow as well, because that's upstairs, isn't it?
Every venue's got horrible stairs, isn't it? Manchester feels particularly bad for it. I feel like every time I've ever played anywhere in Manchester, it's always like it's a fire escape, or it's like a what is it? Is it the zombie shack that's like it's like a circular staircase that you load in through? You're like, what is just ground level is fine. Ground level is what we need.
Manchester's got this sort of like most of the venues in Manchester seem to be in like pretty busy areas. Is the thing. So like there'll be like upstairs in some building and then like below is a fucking cafe or something. Whereas like, like you go to, Boom when that was open in Leeds in the middle of fucking nowhere, like you have to fucking walk 20 minutes just to find the next place that's open. But yeah, I think that's probably something to do with why Manchester keeps making us go upstairs.
I can recommend them. It's the White Hotel in Salford. It's an old garage, so that's pretty flat.
Sick. Okay. Okay. So Manchester promoters. That is.
White Hotel.
Forgot the name of the place
Hollow.
already.
Don't worry about that. Ignore the Satan's Hollow bit. Cut that out and just go straight for Chris's.
White Hotel.
We love the White Hotel, and if they want to send us merch as well as gear companies, great. Perfect.
There we go. I think the stage even backs on to one of the old garage doors, which winds up straight on from the van, straight on stage.
Perfect.
It's the dream. It's the dream.
Do you work at the White Hotel?
I don't. You know what? I've only been to one gig there, and it was bizarre. One of the bizarrest gigs I've been to because they had one of the support bands went for a sun sort of vibe and just filled the place with smoke. And when we went outside for a bit of fresh air, all the smoke was still coming out from the old garage doors. So it was just like a real mid-May scene to come out to. But I do want to go to more gigs there. I've missed a few. I've missed Val there and I missed Portrayal of Guilt, but I do plan to get to some more there.
Sounds great.
So going on to your writing, do you write way in advance of recording? Is it years in advance or is it usually pretty fresh?
It's usually pretty fresh. We're writing the album now to record in February, so it's pretty tight turnaround. We gotta get locked in quickly. But we have, in fairness, we have been writing it since I think pretty much since Neil joined.
Yeah, before I joined, there were two songs kind of like sketched out, and then really writing in earnest, I would say probably over the summer when most of the other stuff's come together in order to like actually kind of like see what it's going to look like, and like having multiple things coming together and figure out the kind of musical narrative of it and the lyrical sections of it. And it feels like that. It's the same with a lot of creativity, isn't it? It kind of like comes in these bursts of suddenly you kind of get a sense of what it's gonna look like. Yeah, by the time I think we've all got a pretty good idea of what it's gonna look and feel like, and then it will be those bits and pieces that will get figured out between now and then recording, and then whatever happens in recording. The really useful thing about demoing in the way that we are is that like every section is interrogated, so we've all got a common language for every part that's being written, as opposed to that kind of like traditional thing of someone writes a song, gives it to everyone else learns the song, and then you go and record it. It's like that makes it quite hard to address particular things if there's something that's not quite working. So in going through it in such a, it is like such a rigorous way, because they're long songs, you know, like these are like most of these songs. I think for the new record, I don't think there's anything under 7 minutes at the moment. So you know, they're long, complex songs, and we don't want them just to be like, you know, the same thing over and over again. So every song has a narrative built in, and then what does that mean for the whole album? So actually having a common language to be able to discuss and interrogate those parts when we're separate and together, and then in the studio, because that, I think that's when it will really benefit, is when we're in the studio and recording these things and thinking, why does that part exist, and what was the intention behind that part, and what it does and how it brings us to a particular place. Again, it's like really in the weeds in it, and it's beautiful process.
So you mentioned before that you've obviously been experimenting with 7-string guitars and 5-string basses. Is this changing the sound to Underdark at all?
I think in terms sonically, yes is the answer. It basically what it gives you. So before everything, it was tuned to so six strings tuned to C sharp, which is, if you want to be cool, Deftones tuning. If you want to be less cool, Linkin Park tuning. And the
I'm definitely.
so the 7 string, so it's drop A on the sevens and on the 5. So actually, what it ends up giving you is more at the bottom end. And I think the really interesting thing has been, you essentially get a standard tuned guitar on top. So with the I know every band ever says this, but the heavier parts get heavier and the prettier parts get prettier. Yeah, but it's that tuning actually means that is true. So like the, you know, the things that are pretty and atmospheric, and what we can add in around that, you get so much more range out of that. So yeah, it really it's been quite transformative. I was resistant to getting the 5-string for so long, because I was like, I don't know how to play 5-string, but actually it really makes a big difference.
As someone with very limited technical knowledge, I can attest, when we're playing the new one of the new songs live, you can really hear the extra string. It like the one we've been playing live that's finished now. It starts very abruptly with like all the instruments coming in at once, and just that compared to like previous songs, it's like standing next to a fucking jet engine. It's just unbelievably, it's like a fucking gut punch of a sound. It's great.
Looking forward.
And the temptation when you're writing with you know, when you've got those kind of tunings, the temptation is that you just make the most of the low part, because it's cool. It's cool to have, like, if you're in drop A, you know, there's so much stuff you can get back. It's using that sparingly, and it's just seeing it as an extra ingredient that you can go down to. You don't have to always be there. You can just go down to it when the like feels like, it really does feel apocalyptic when you go down to that. So actually just having that range of things, to my ears at least, it means that it lets the songs breathe even more, because you've got the space to go up and down, and it's the kind of things. Yeah, there's a lot that can be done with it. It's fun. It's really fun.
Are you going to be playing this song when you do the gig in London in December, or is that just Managed Decline in its entirety and then done?
Managed Decline's a 45-ish minute record, and we've got an hour, so we'll see.
Such a good lineup that you've put together as well with that one. Really is.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing. Both bands are absolutely incredible, and they are. It's a real honour to be able to play and to be able to all play together. The new Bowl record is unreal,
fucking phenomenal, isn't it?
You know, that's a band where it's like, I don't understand. And again, I love this with bands. I'm like, I don't understand how you write songs. You know, about how these things come together, and about how it is technically amazing, but time just goes by when you're listening to that band. You know, these are long, complicated songs, but time just instantly goes by. I think they're a really special band.
They've hit out the park with every aspect of it though as well, because the artwork is absolutely unbelievable. And then, you know, when you look at the vinyl layout as well, it's almost, it is really just chef's kiss right the way across it. It's absolutely fantastic. One of my albums of the year so far, I would say.
I think for a lot of people that is it's the that's something that has really hit. And exactly as you say, you know, that's a band that clearly think about every aspect of their craft and actually are crafting these things rather than just, cool, this is a good riff that fits here, and then we add another riff, and then we add something else. It's like, it is crafted, and you're totally right. The artwork and how everything fits in together, the stage show, that everything about it is, this is something that has been thought about a lot, but not overdone. It's just clever. Yeah. It's really clever.
It's and in a way that like they're not beating you over the head with how clever they're being. It's a lot of the time, like, sometimes bands that are being clever and they know that they're being clever, like, they really want you to know that they are, and that's where it loses the magic a bit. But there's absolutely none of that shit with Ball. It's really fucking great.
And also one of those bands that you could, if you didn't know anything about that sort of music and you went to see that band for the first time, you would be able to enjoy it immediately. It's not the kind of thing, you know, there's not that kind of like barrier to entry. If you know about that music, there's a lot of satisfaction that comes from it. But equally, if you don't, you would understand, or you'd feel something listening to it, which again is really rare for that to happen, as opposed to just getting locked in with kind of genre tropes, and they just resist it. I think they're a very, very special band. And you've spoken to them recently.
We did. It was released today, or yesterday. Sorry, was the pod was released, so it was we really enjoyed speaking to today. That album, since it's come out and it came on my radar, it has been on regular rotation. I'm just waiting to get a chance to see them now. Unfortunately, London might be a step too far for me that close to Christmas. So.
Fair.
We'll have to put on a gig.
I've got a sofa to sleep on.
I've got family, and I'm not too bad for somewhere to stay. I'm not able to set myself in two with Google Calendars like you, Neil. Fortunately, so.
We're going to move on to the fun questions now. So, is there a bizarre piece of merch that you'd like to put out?
I feel like an umbrella would be really on brand.
Yeah, I like that. Oh man, Underdark brand bandages. I want to get into medical supplies.
It's where bands go wrong. It's like know the market to get into, the medical supply market. You know, it's booming. We're all missing
it. So thought that market was rinsed by the Tories a couple of years ago.
Very good. Very good.
Oh yeah, that's why we're trying to scalp people with it.
Yeah,
definitely.
If you could only listen to one album for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh, I think Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City.
Excellent choice. Definitely his best album.
I agree.
I would go.
Thank you.
I would go for, only because they've just recently reformed and they're going to be playing Sugar, Copper Blue.
Yeah.
Going to go out on the going to go for some 90s alt rock.
Yeah, I love that album.
Ah.
It's so good, so good.
One I've not listened to for a long time. So,
it's one of those records I'm like, how is this not the biggest record at that time? You know, it's like I know it was big, and I know it got a lot more attention than other stuff. But you know, when I came to it really late. Yeah, just like front to back, 10 out of 10.
I think they just suffered from being in the same sort of time period as Nirvana, though, didn't they? Really.
Do you know what? I was saying to someone the other day, that album, if Nevermind didn't exist, I don't know if this is a ridiculous thing to say, but if Nevermind didn't exist, I feel like Copper Blue would have occupied a very different territory. I think I really, really do. I think this could have been quite a revolutionary album.
What current song do you have on repeat?
I currently have on repeat a song called The Whirl by Astrophysics. Genre-wise, it's pretty pretty convoluted. It's like a combination of like gothy post-punk with jungle drums and like hardcore vocals. It's nuts. It's great. I never realized that I needed to hear fucking tinny ass jungle type drums doing a blast beat before, but it's beautiful. I definitely recommend people listen to it.
Oh, give that a go. How about you, Neil?
I've been on a seemingly basically Italian screamo kick at the minute, and there's a band called Radura. All their songs are in Italian, so I'm not going to attempt to get myself into any. But yeah, there's a band called Radura, and yeah, just incredible contemporary screamo band. Like again, super melodic, great vocals. Yeah, lovely band.
Stuff. You booked to play a wedding. The couple met in a mosh pit. What song you opening with?
Oh man.
Okay, Limp Bizkit. None of the obvious ones. none of the obvious ones. These guys are, you know, they're moshers. They've been around. They've met in a mosh pit. You know, that's indicating they've been in mosh pits before. They know what they're doing. So I don't want to start with the obvious. But I'll go with that. I'll go with that kind of like a classic set. Limp Bizkit, Living It Up.
I think that'd work. I would probably put on Merspo and just fuck the whole party up. I'm not a weddings enjoyer, to be honest.
Excellent. How about you? Have you got one?
I'd go Limp Bizkit, Break Stuff.
Would you?
Yeah.
Break Stuff's a great. Apparently, Limp Bizkit are now starting and closing their sets with Break Stuff.
I think I'd take some of the visual aspect of it. Maybe go with Sonic Youth, Dirty Boots, and use the music video.
Nice.
Very good shout.
We're going to move on to the quickfire questions. Vinyl or streaming?
Vinyl.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'd have to say vinyl.
Gig lighting, flickering strobes, or total darkness.
I love darkness. I think when you use darkness well, it's really fucking effective. So, yeah.
Blast beats or breakdowns?
Blast beats.
Breakdowns.
Peep Show or Always Sunny?
Ooh. Space.
I did think about throwing Space in there, but you never know.
You can't put Space in there because it dominates everything. Peep Show, but I only found out relatively recently that I've missed 3 seasons of Peep Show. I thought I'd finished it, and there's 3 more seasons of it. So definitely I'll go Peep Show.
Yeah, I did want to throw Space in there because it does dominate my daily vocabulary. So I'm always referencing Space.
Night gigs or daytime festivals?
Night gigs. There's always something really fucking almost incorrect feeling about like walking around with your throat all torn up from singing and the sun still being up. It's just like
yeah, I couldn't agree more. Nighttime for sure.
Sorban smell, damp merch, or forgotten falafel.
Oh god. I think I'll take the damp merch because like you can do something about that.
Yeah, damp merch. Forgotten falafel. There's if you don't find that falafel, you're in serious issues. So you know it's indicative of definite further problems down the line. Damp merch. And also, it might smell like like an old Army and Navy store. You know, that always smelled like just damp.
The thing with the falafel is it's also like, you've got this sort of, oh man, I could have eaten that, but I can't now when I find it.
It depends who's watching, I suppose, doesn't it?
How forgotten was it?
It was always bitter green in it, I suppose, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's also like, is that Forgotten Falafel from the previous band who'd got that van? You know, is that's someone else's Forgotten Falafel? Because there's always something that the previous band leave. You just find it's in the glove compartment or it's in the back of somewhere. There's something that the band have left behind. It feels too intimate, and I feel like even a Forgotten Falafel feels too intimate.
So, what is the strangest thing that you found in a van which has been left behind? This is a random question now you've said that.
Oh man.
The previous one, there's always underwear. There's always underwear. That's your kind of your classic. Whether that's you hope for a sock, but it's not always going to be a sock.
The fun part is doing forensics, trying to figure out what kind of bands had it before us based on what we find. I think my favorite thing that I found in
very nice because. Oh.
Sorry, my favorite thing that I found in a tour van is graffiti proclaiming that it should have been Lars.
Amazing. So on that note, I'd like to say thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
And
you
just
so
before we
much.
leave, if you want to give a shout out to anything that you've got coming up, we've obviously mentioned the gig in December.
Yeah, I've got a book out. I've got another one coming out around Halloween, actually. But yeah, that's available on my fucking itch page. You can download it as an ebook for like £4. It's good if you like cyberpunk. It's dark, it's gritty, it's futuristic and miserable. It's all the shit that if you like Underdark, you'll enjoy this.
Excellent. Well, thanks again, guys.
Yeah, and then we've got a little weekender.
We
a
have,
couple of shows at the back end of November, playing in Luton and then in Cardiff. Great lineups for those. Mountain Peaks and Urzar are playing in Cardiff. Pit of Dicks in Luton. So those two shows will be great fun, and that will be. That will just be just before the Black Heart show on the 4th, before we kick into next year. So yeah, that'd be great. And thank you to you folks for your time and your, as ever, fantastic questions. Great.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been really fun.
No, we aim to please. So thanks for coming on, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, especially after the first time didn't work out so good.
No worries at all. We'll just stop that, let it upload.